Here we go. We're live. Oops. And we're live, folks. Hang on. And we're live. Found it's Happy Friday. It's going to be a really great show. And I'll tell you why. Right now, you don't hear him. He's on mute because he's just simmering and he's brooding. All that handsomeness, waiting to go, to jump out of the gate. But, folks, we are reminding you first, Found It's, if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Ring that bell for all your notifications so that you know when we go live. And you know when we go live, oh, it's going to be live. You know why? Because you, Found It's, are going to go on a sonic safari, and you and I and everybody, the chat, everybody is Los, Lounge of Sound. That's what that means. So sit back, relax, decompress. Don't think about the work week. Don't think about that crazy commute. Just go grab your favorite beverage, your favorite snack, and then we're going to be right back with a very special guest star that's part of the family. And I'll explain all about that in just a few. How about that? So we're going to play something really nice and soft to get us in the mood. Here we go. we're back. Found it. Welcome. Hey, Walt, there's our drummer, Lounge of Sound drummer. Walt is in the house. Shirley, hello. And Bill Grog, our resident musicologist. Can I call you that, Bill? You seem to be one of those guys. You're always in the know. No, Bill. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited because we're going to be talking about retail history. And by that, I mean, I've got one half of the wonderful dynamic duo Retail. We've got Brandon Young. Brandon, sorry that Andrew couldn't come here, but I'm really happy, and I'm sure the Foundits are happy that you're going to represent your band, your exciting band. How you doing today? Oh, doing the do. I've been moving my folks. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. If you guys are in the house, I'm behaving. I'm having. I don't know that I'm behaving, but I'm having somehow. So Brandon is part of the family. You guys always hear me talk about my little brother is over there, way over on the other side of the I was gonna say universe, of the United States. Hey, little bro, my brother Paul Young is an incredible guitar player, and you guys have seen him here on the Lounge of Sound. And now we've got his genre-defying genius, multi-instrumentalist, singer, songwriter. What else? How many hats do you wear, bro? Oh, they said you're muted. Are you muted? Can you guys hear Brandon? Let us know. Okay, because I can hear you perfectly. I can hear you perfect. So let us know, chat, if you can't hear Brandon, because we definitely want to hear him. And if we can't hear him, we'll try to sort something out. But we're gonna be showcasing some songs from the new album. Remind us again, what is the new album called? The Fall of Rainbows. Uh-oh, we can't hear you. Okay, you may want to check your original sound. I hear you. Okay. I hear something. I can hear you. Chat, can we hear our guest? Let us know if you can hear him now. Because I can definitely hear him now. Yes, thumbs up. Nope, they cannot. That is crazy. Okay. Yeah. How about now, guys? Can we hear him? Okay. In the meantime, what about, since I can hear you, how about if I play one of the tracks from your Retail album, pick one, and found it. He's going to try to look at his settings. Yeah, Shirley says they definitely cannot hear you. Let us know. So we've got Brandon Young, still no. We're going to play a track from Retail's new album, and it came out in February. Remind us, The Fall of Rainbows came out February, what was it, the 23rd? 21st. Okay, I'm a little bit off of my game today, guys, but I did not fall. The Fall of Rainbows did. So in the meantime, while he figures this out, how about I play The Fall of Rainbows, the eponymous track? Okay, all right, so I'm going to play The Fall of Rainbows for you, chat, and in the meantime, hang tight. He's going to go ahead and check his settings on Zoom. Hey, this is technology, and we're live, so now you know, hey, we are live, all right? I hope you guys are doing better, and you guys are having a fantastic afternoon. Here we go, The Fall of Rainbows off of Retail's first album. What do you guys think of this? Check it out, The Fall of Rainbows.
So far down the beaten path and all along the broken at bay, hiding from the large expanse. Something in the air that I can recognize. Was it something that I said? So that pot of gold that you've stashed away, it keeps you lying in your bed.
And we're back. Found it's. I'm going to be trying something here on our OBS end, but I hope you guys like that. So we're going to give him a shot. Go ahead and say something, and then we're going to see if the Found It's can hear you. And if they can't hear, then I'm going to have to check my software. All right. Okay. Can everybody hear him now? They need to reboot and come back in. Maestro says, good evening, fellow Foundits. I hope all is well. He called us Fundits. That's a fun way to say it, but it's a found it because we find our friends and we found, but fun works too. So that takes us to still no. Okay, let me check something on the OBS software way. And in the meantime, while I do that, okay, what is that? We're hearing some kind of background. I can, let me see. Audio. I can hear the cat. Desktop, okay, let me see. Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny that we hear him. Let's see, default. Okay.
Do you want me to leave and come back then? Do you want me to try that, or
we may have to have you do that, but in the meantime,
okay.
Let me see.
All right, let me.
Okay. In the meantime, I'll talk to them, and if I've got to play some music, I'll play some music, and then you just be patient with us, Found It. But yeah, I'll be working on this.
Oh, they hear me.
Oh, they hear you now.
Yeah, they hear me.
Oh, that's so fun.
Great. Okay.
Okay, so apply. Okay, they hear you now. That is so strange. Perfect. Watch Party says hi, and they can hear you now. That is funny. Okay, so something caught up when you did your round and Found It. Can you hear me now? I'm wondering if you can hear my voice, because I'm gonna try to make sure that we go without a hitch here. Okay, just let us know if you have any more issues, Found It, because we want you to have high quality entertainment. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you, Shirley. And yes, the cat turned the mic on. That's what happened.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but you were louder than you were also. That's what they're saying.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay.
Let
Of
me.
course he's louder because he was on mute.
Yes.
At any rate, I'm going to take time to say hello to the chat. We've got Angela Tuminaro, our boss from back in Florida when we do some shows. She's in the house, and there's a watch party, and everybody says hi. Elizabeth Thomas, I see you. Shirley Ann, Walt, and Bill Grog. And I am louder. Is that a bad thing? I can step back. Los is louder. Okay. All right. So I'm louder than I was before. All right. So is that a bad thing? Because I can always step back. Okay. So now that we can hear him, we're going to check in and ask about Retail. So Retail is a hot new band. You guys released your album. Remind us again, February 21st?
February 21st, yes.
Okay, February 21st.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. March 21st.
March 21st. Okay, I'm sorry, my mistake. All right. And so the album is called, again?
It's called The Fall of Rainbows.
Fall of Rainbows. Excellent. All right, so how would you describe your sound, this exciting new sound?
I think it's got kind of an indie vibe for the most part, kind of an indie rock, alternative rock vibe all around.
Awesome. And we like it. Bill Grog says, or Walt Saylor says, nice track. I agree. So you've got an indie vibe. So you and Andrew, what's the story? How did you guys meet, or how did this project come to fruition?
We met. Our families have known each other for a very long time. My father and his father became friends, I don't know, probably more than 20 years ago. And so Andrew and I have kind of always had a bit of a connection. And then around the time that I was a sophomore in high school, he and I started recording music together in his dad's basement just for fun. We would mostly just cover more popular tracks until a couple years ago he came to me and decided that he wanted to start trying to write original music with me, and he wanted to do an album for the first time. You know, we had been together playing music for a number of years at that point, and he wanted to start seeing what we could put out. It's kind of our first foray into original music altogether for both of us.
Very cool. So, what was your first instrument that you played when you guys got together?
Well, I'm a drummer, and
Okay.
so my natural inclination was to just head to the drums and provide the support in that way. And to an extent, I kind of wanted him to write the music, and I just wanted to back him up on the drums wherever I could, maybe do a little bass here and there. I wasn't expecting to take a role as a songwriter during this project, so that was kind of a surprise to both of us to an extent. But for me, it was definitely the drums.
Okay. For some reason, somebody said that they can't hear you. Found it? I thought you all
Again?
could hear. They said that you guys can or cannot hear him. Please let us know soon. Because they said that the cat must have turned on the mic, but we could hear you a little while ago. What's your favorite drummer joke? Okay, so you are hearing him.
And,
You can
okay.
hear you. Okay. That's funny. Somebody just said that they can't. Okay. Elizabeth says, yes, we can hear both of you. Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
Walt, we got a drummer in the house, and he's asking, what's your favorite drummer joke?
My favorite drummer joke is, how do you know when the stage is level? It's when the drummer has drool dripping out of both sides of his mouth.
Oh, you got a balanced joke. All right. That's like that. That's that old joke. He's like, hey, I'm balanced. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I have a chip on both shoulders. That's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Nice. So, okay. So do you mainly see yourself as a drummer? Because you said, I am a drummer. You play multiple instruments. What's your main bag, if you will?
Oh, it's the drums, man. Yeah, I started off on the drums when I was around 4, and it's definitely my niche.
Your niche.
Yeah.
So
that's
how
my
many
niche.
other, let us know what other instruments would we surprised Um, I sound like I'm in a plastic tube. All good now. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on there, but let's see. Wow,
All
that's
good now.
funny.
Okay.
So they're saying that I sound like I'm in a plastic tube. Okay. Well, at any rate, what instruments would surprise us to know that you play?
Uh, I play probably the piano. I'm no skilled pianist by any
Hmm.
means, but I like tinkering with the piano. I don't think the bass is too surprising because it's part of the rhythm section.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, my guilty pleasure is definitely playing the piano.
Got it. What about any other percussion instruments that we would be surprised to know?
Yeah, I play the marimba. I play the
Marimba.
vibraphone.
Nice.
Yes, I play the. I play most percussion instruments. Just through some exposure that I've had in high school. Um, uh, Really anything that can be struck, I I have attempted to play at one point or another. Not necessarily proficiently, but I do what I can.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the process. So we heard a wonderful track. How do you divide who plays what in the track?
We just kind of fell into a pattern, honestly.
Ba-dum-bum.
For the whole album, I pretty much took the role of the drummer and bassist and percussionist,
Mhm.
and we would divide up the keyboard duty, piano duty. Andrew is our guitar player,
Okay,
so he handled all the guitar parts. I handled a few guitar parts, a few lead parts, some rhythm tracks. So really, it was just kind of an, it was kind of on an as need basis
mhm.
that we would just divide whatever it was that needed to be done, and occasionally we would just flip a coin and say, "Hey, man, do you want to do it? Do you want me to do it?"
Right.
Um, just whoever. My philosophy has always been, you know, to not have an ego about whatever it is that needs to be recorded. And so, if you sound better than I do, well, then you do it. And if I
Nice.
sound better than you, well, then I'll do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Um, just whichever person is more capable of laying down a solid track is who we would go with most of the time.
Very nice. So it sounds like a mutual admiration society. You guys are being, we always talk about that here. You guys are just on a quest to finalize a product that appeals to everybody. Is there a track that you are particularly proud of that you would like to show the found it's
Ah,
what you
man,
think represents the sound that you guys have as retail?
the sound. The sound. Wow. Well, it's weird because the question that you've asked, um, the track that comes to mind is probably writing letters. But the funny thing is, I don't think that that's representative of the sound of the album.
Okay,
Um,
it's okay. We
but
can.
that's a track that I am particularly proud of
Okay.
because of all of the. Yeah, I mean,
You want to show
we
this
could.
one and then we'll show the other one
Yeah,
later on? Okay. Writing
that's fine.
letters. Okay. Anything you
Yeah.
wanted to let us know that you would like people if you could have anybody ask you your favorite interviewing question in regards to writing letters, what would the question be?
The question. That's a good question, actually. Probably. Well, I think we used quite a few, or not quite a few. We used a session musician on the track.
Hmm.
So I guess the question would be, who is that?
Okay.
um, we brought in a saxophone player who I encountered around town somewhere,
Hmm.
and I asked him if he'd be willing to lay down a sax solo in this track, and he was happy to do so. So his name is Bob Manley. He's a fantastic musician, great saxophonist, and happy to have had him recording with us.
Well, thanks for shouting him out. And D set is in the house. Good to see you, D. Good evening to you, D. So we're going to play that track, "Writing Letters," and then we'll ask whatever questions you guys want. Get your thinking caps on or your feeling caps on, and then when we finish the track, let us know what you would like to ask Brandon. Here we go. "Writing Letters."
Is it worth it anymore? And by the time I realize that space is filling up between us, I'm glad we never said goodbye. Coltrane plays on, and I'm thinking about the lonely day writing letters to myself. What did she mean? Because by the time I realize that space is filling up between us, I'm glad we never said goodbye. Well, I tried so hard to let it go, but it only seems to take one so far. And it doesn't matter if we know just who we What did she
I gotta do this. I'm gonna have to do this, guys. I have to. I'm sorry. I got to.
Oh boy.
And I promise I wouldn't be cheesy, but hey, I wish I had a burger to slap that cheese on. But yeah, it's a really, really nice song, bro. Kudos
Thank
to
you.
you. Good job. Uncle
Thanks, man.
Los is proud. So the Maestro Mix says that song is a journey through music itself, covering multiple genres. An amazing song. And Shirley says, nice listening and message, nice track.
Thank
So
you.
You're getting some love there, bro.
Thanks everyone. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
So
Yeah.
why is that your favorite track? You said now somebody mentioned Spandau Ballet. I don't know if that was one of the influences, but I don't know if I said that right. What makes that one of your favorite tracks?
There's kind of a long story behind the writing of it. I had this chord progression that I wrote that I thought was really pretty on the piano, and I kept bringing. Well, I brought it to Andrew, and he would kind of nitpick, like one or two chords that he didn't care for, and so I'd go back to the drawing board, and then come up with something else, and then bring it back until he told me that, hey man, that's really nice, and then that's what ended up being what we recorded. So it was kind of a several month long process of like finding something that we were both happy with until we decided to commit it to tape. And all in all, I think all the pieces of the tune just kind of fell into place. And I feel like when that happens, when you're recording something, if it just falls together, I think that's a good sign, as opposed to if you have to struggle to get what you want. And that was just kind of the case with this track. It just kind of fell into place fairly quickly. And plus, the sax solo, I think, is a pretty a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, I mean that's not something that you normally hear in rock and roll, especially these days, right? But yeah, so somebody mentioned Spandau. Well, I think it's because in the '80s they were willing to take some courageous, some bold changes of direction. You had, bands that were incorporating saxophone, harmonica, banjo within a structure that normally one wouldn't think of. They had didgeridoo, coming out of Australia. You know what I mean? So to hear a sax solo, do you think that you pay homage more to the past, or do you think you have your foot firmly planted moving forward to the future? I mean?
No, that's a good question. But I'd say to the past, pretty emphatically. I don't listen to a lot of contemporary music, honestly, and so I think that certainly has an influence on my arranging style.
Interesting. Well, I mentioned to somebody, this young band has their foot so far back in the past that they're too far out in the future. I think, it's like futuristic to me, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to play a track this is John Nathan Cordy. I found him on YouTube. He's got a wonderful channel here. He's really quiet and pensive, and I thought of you when I found him. I can hear the thought process. I can hear in depth, a broadened horizon. I hear theory, but yet at the same time, I kind of feel that there's a lot of heart. Do you think that's an apt description of the sound that you guys have?
On certain tracks, I'd say so. Yes, yeah. I think that most of our music is pretty straightforward, kind of simple little tunes, but I think with that track, it was a little more. That was kind of a stretch.
I think for us, sophisticated and elegant. Hello, Lenny. Welcome, Newfoundland Lenny. So I'm gonna play this little. It's a little Dorian groove, a little slow groove, just because we want to keep the music going. But I think this track that I found has a little. It kind of goes a step back into the past with the sounds, but at the same time, it kind of has a futuristic sound, and I think you guys will understand what I mean by that.
Cool.
I hear a little train going. That's cool. See what I mean?
Yeah, man, nice.
Who thinks of playing drums that way? You know, it's like we're thinking outside the box now. We've got sounds that are very futuristic. It's like the technology of today with yesterday's grooves, and I think that's what I hear with you guys.
Cool, man. Yeah, no, I think that's sort of what we were trying to go for with some of these tunes, is kind of a throwback, but as well as trying to remain somewhat modern,
Okay.
which isn't always easy, you know.
You're right. You're right, and you know you don't want to sound dated, but at the same time you want to pay tribute, right? So who are some of your heroes? If you can speak for Andrew, since he's not here, unless we bring Andrew back, we could do that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you'd love to come on. Yeah, I'd say between the two of us, I know that we share like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Foo Fighters. He's really into
Fighters.
yeah, the Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
He loves Dave Grohl. He's really into Nirvana, Ben Folds,
Oh, okay.
and even some more contemporary musicians such as like Jay Dilla or Tom Misch.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there've been quite a few influences, quite a few hands in some of the sounds that we've tried to make.
Anybody would be surprised that influenced you on another instrument or?
Ooh, on another instrument. Wow, that's a good question. I'm not proficient enough in any other instrument to claim any influences. I don't think.
Well, neither am I, but I mean, I have to admit, you know, Miles Davis was my first influence, but I think it's more about phrasing, more about dynamics and things like that. Anybody that you were like, oh man, it just spoke to me.
Probably Pino Palladino on the
Really?
bass. Yeah.
Incredible bass player.
Yeah.
What was the latest project other than John Mayer's Try album? Is there any other album that you can think of that would jog our collective memory?
Mostly just what he's done with John Mayer. Some of my favorite stuff he's done. I think they did a live album, I think, in Vegas, the John Mayer Trio, and that's some of my favorite bass playing of all time on that record. So, probably that album.
There's some great bass players out on the chat. The themaestromix. I'm not saying any names, but his initials start with the themaestromix. So he's not playing right now. You're not playing right now. I'm not throwing you under the bus, bro. But I'm just saying. By the way, the maestro was here last week, and we talked about music of all kinds of things. So that's really interesting. That Pino Palladino. Wow. He says, "Stop it."
Pino.
Come on, come off it. We're gonna be working on, so you might as well get used to this, bro. Okay. So, any bands that you really like from the past that you think that the Foundits would be like, oh, wow, okay, he likes them. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up one of my favorite bands is Steely Dan. Yeah, love
I
Steely
knew you were gonna
Dan.
go there. I had to. If you weren't gonna do it, I was gonna do it. I was gonna say because we tend to think of a dynamic duo like that, Walter Becker, and Donald Fagen. So if you were to be in Steely Dan, if you were one of the dynamic two, which one would you be? What do you think? Which one? Who of them is your favorite guy?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think probably Fagen.
And why?
because he's kind of the face, of Steely Dan, and in hearing, his solo work and some of Walter's solo work, it seems as though he had a bigger influence on the musical direction of Steely Dan than Walter did. It seemed like Walter had more of a hand in the lyrical aspect of things, and Donald was more responsible for what you heard musically. Although I'm sure they both had a bit of both, a bit of each.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I love his voice. Donald Fagen's voice is one of my favorite voices in all of rock, and I think just their music has had a big impact in my personal musical taste.
Absolutely. Me too. They're responsible for my friend. I don't know that he's here in the chat, but the first time he met me, he was like, "You play moo chords, just like the Steely Dan. Moo chords. Yeah, moo chords is, is those chords that go. They're moving chords.
Yes.
They move everywhere you play them, and they're kind of shells of chords, and so I like that how they used to do that.
Yeah,
it's like asking who you like, Paul or John. I know.
It's like you can't.
Yeah, just to put it into perspective, when you guys hear me do Beatles, I'm like, do, 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 right? That kind of thing, That's cool. So, favorite? You told us about your favorite songwriter and bass player. Drums. Favorite drummer.
Favorite drummer.
That's a hard one.
I don't have one. I don't have a favorite drummer.
Okay.
But I do. I think I could divide it up by genre, perhaps.
Okay.
Man, I have a long list, but I think my favorite jazz drummer is either Max Roach or Tony Williams.
I knew you were going to go with Tony Williams. All right.
Yeah.
All right. As soon as you said jazz. Okay. Very, very cool. All right. Well, I'm not going to play some jazz exactly, but we're going to play something a little smooth to keep our Friday going nice and smooth. And here's I've got to bring my volume back up. Here we go. futuristic sounds again, just to keep us moving forward. And that's how we're seeing how we're meshing the old with the new, and we're enjoying our time here with one half of retail. Guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed, remember to please hit that little bell for notifications so that when we have wonderful artists such as Brandon Young here, you guys get notified. All right? And most Fridays we're going to be here, and summer's looking really good. It is looking kind of hot. This is a way to cool down. So join us. Hopefully you guys can join us. And again, we've got Brandon Young here. If you're new to the chat, you're just stepping in. You missed out on a lot, but don't forget you'll be able to replay it. That's okay. All right, so going back to your tracks, I'm really enjoying this album. Where can the folks find you? On any kind of social media?
Yeah, we are on we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. I think we are only on Facebook and Instagram. I don't think that we have I think that's all we have. Yeah.
And where can we find your music?
On Spotify. If you look us up on Spotify, just under the name Retail, you'll find our album there. We're also on Bandcamp. I think it's bandcamp.com/retail. We're also on Apple Music. We're on all the major music streaming platforms.
Very nice.
So if you look up our band name, the odds are you'll be able to find us on whichever you prefer.
Very cool. I'm kind of partial to the band's look, the aesthetic. There's some anonymity to it. Who came up with that brand, the look? If you guys go to Instagram, you guys will see their background looks kind of like ours here in the lounge, kind of the blues and the reds, but there's a little anonymity. I almost said animosity. I don't know why. They're very friendly. They're friendly. Why am I?
There is that too.
No. They're very friendly. They're anonymity. Who came up with that brand look, that aesthetic? It's really cool.
Andrew, actually, he the entire time, like from the get, he always mentioned wanting to have something on our heads, and he always imagined us with these glowing orbs on our heads covering our faces, and I asked him why, and he had no idea. He was like, I don't know, man, it's just what I want to do.
Well, it reminds me of Jack in a Box, the old commercials.
Yes.
kind of like that. I don't know if you guys have checked out Instagram. If you check out their profile, it's a really interesting look. They're dressed really, really dapper, with their ties and their white shirts, and then they got this great big orb on their head. And they're good-looking guys, too. I was like, why would they be putting on a mask?
Yeah, no, I think there's always that cliche of, man, it's about the music, not the look. It's not about the face. It's about what you hear.
I like that.
I don't know if I really buy into I don't think that was really our philosophy. I think he just thought it looked cool.
And it kind of does, I think it highlights the musicianship, even though you said it's simple, but it's still really catchy. And I mean, okay, so what's the most catchy song on the track? I mean, a track on the album.
I think the funny thing is I often forget the names of our tracks. Let me think. What is that song called?
Why Don't You Come Around?
No, the other one. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me look at our album.
All right. So I want these guys to hear. I mean, I'm
it's
telling you guys.
Don't You Cry. Yeah, Don't You Cry.
Don't You Cry. Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Don't You Cry.
Yes.
Can I play that? Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right. Let me know if I need to bring the volume up. Just give me a thumbs up, okay? Here we go.
Hold me while I'm turning, catch me while I'm tumbling down. As the world is burning, sing about it, hitting the ground. Take a candid photo and post it for your mother to see. Welcome to the game show. Stop weeping like a willow tree. There are moments that can return, but I know it's not your fault. Won't you look right into my eyes and I'll stand by. I'll be your guide, but don't you cry.
All right, that was really catchy. You're right. That was catchy. But I thought you guys have like a ska song too.
We do have a ska song. It's that was actually the working title. It's called Ska.
Oh, was it?
But yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, that was the one you mentioned earlier. Why don't you come around? Yeah.
Okay, so maybe later we'll play Why Don't You Come Around? We still have a little time left on the clock. Somebody mentioned Dishwalla and Three Doors Down.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, and we also had a bit of a Third Eye Blind type of thing that we were kind of.
I even heard a little bit of Sonic Youth, a little bit of. There's a lot of different, but those drums were definitely a little busier than a lot of that stuff. But.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Well, I don't know if that's a compliment, but yes.
Yeah, yes, it was a compliment because you kept it kind of interesting. They weren't just regular, right? It's you were a little outside of the box, and it kind of some of those fills reminded me of some Van Halen too. So.
Ooh, cool. Thank you.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm showing my age, guys. I'm showing my age. Oh man. All right. So we talked about your favorite song. We talked about your the song that you felt encapsulated more of your sound, right? You're right. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
Cool. So any interesting tidbits that you can give us about working in the studio?
Ooh. Well, this was all. Yeah, sure. Well, we went through a number of instruments trying to record this thing. I think there were at least 6 or 7 different basses that we went through, not necessarily because we were going for any particular tone, but just because I kept buying new basses.
I think your dad's rubbing off on you. Your dad's rubbing off. He's the worst guy when I'm thinking of buying this guitar, and he's like, do it. He's like the little bad guy on the left side. No, you need it. You need that amplifier, bro. Fiamma was his fault. He was like, pull the trigger, do it.
It's a gorgeous guitar, but when you like new gear, it's like it's just kind of like tap water. You just keep cycling through or adding to the collection.
Well, we've got a lot of ladies in the crowd, and I know you girls don't think you don't like gear, but let me explain it this way. On behalf of all musicians, you know how you have that one pump that you have in different colors? And why is it, do you really need all those different colors? Just saying, right? It's kind of like that, you're like, do you really need those different guitars? Well, they all sound different, right? And it's basses, and so.
Yeah, no, they all have a different quality.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there was anything, let's say, that you think catches the younger people's ears or whatever, what is it what are you trying to say with your music? Is there something that you're trying to say? Is there something you would like for people to know about who you are, your direction, your sound, your identity? Is there anything, or maybe am I going too deeply?
I think a little bit, honestly. I'm not that. I guess when it comes to some of the stuff that I'd written on the album, I kind of that Steely Dan influence again of just not really being too serious with your lyrics.
Okay.
Not. I don't know. I don't think there's any real deep message in any of it. I think that for the most part, it was just kind of something that came to me, or some kind of silly little story that came to my mind that I wanted to write about.
So you just want people to enjoy the music, that's all?
Yeah, pretty
Cool.
much.
I think
Yeah.
we could do. Can you guys let us know in the chat? Is that the kind of music you like? Feel good music. Let us know. Chat. Do you enjoy feel good music, or do you need something that just really makes you think? So let us know about that. But with that said, I love Steely Dan. It's got to be my top three bands. When I said Pamela says I can dig it, cool, and that I can dig it kind of sounds like you're from the '70s, and I am too. So I love Steely Dan. I grew up on that, on Toto, definitely Toto, Steely Dan, and there's a connection there. Um, you guys all know that I grew up in the '80s, and I'm trying to put it behind me. I like the '60s, but the '70s.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing? Even though there's '80s, but I'm hearing something else.
I think so. Yeah. I think a lot of our recording technique kind of harkens back to that time. Particularly the way that we recorded the drums. And maybe you don't mean technically, you probably mean musically. Honestly, musically, I'm not sure. But I think that technically, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The way that we tried to go about recording it.
So Shirley touched on a really interesting thing that you and I had talked about, story. Is that what is there a storyline in your songs? There's kind of like is there a visual imagery? Are you writing with a movie or a book?
Ooh, probably a book.
Nice.
For me personally. I think Andrew is more of the movie end of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shirley says she likes a story and feel good music. So Andrew, he that appeals to him, the visual imagery, right?
Yes, he tends to be very visually descriptive in his lyrics. That's something that he's very adamant about trying to incorporate. Whereas
cool.
for me, I like talking about people
Very
and
cool.
situations rather than events and places.
So I think my mom and other women in my life have told me that they like, you come back from a party and they're like, who'd you meet and how long, how did they meet and how long have they been married? We've got we're going to shout out Karen Miller's in the house, and we've got a few of our friends listening in from the Florida or from back east, and so a little shout out to them, Carrington. We see you, honey, and you play wonderful piano. She's a up and coming piano player. She's amazing. And hi to your mom. Say hi to your mom, Angela. Tell them that I said hi. And thanks a lot for you guys have a listening party. You guys are showing a lot of love and support for Brandon Young and for Retail. Thanks. And
Thank you all.
Yeah, and Karen was on the show too. She's a wonderful piano teacher. So we have musicians from different walks of life and people from different areas of the United States. That's interesting. So your music, can I ask you, is there a vibe that you enjoy in the States? I mean, is it the East Coast vibe, a West Coast vibe? I kind of hear a little both.
I think it's both. Absolutely. We have a song called West Coast, actually. A track called West Coast on the album. It's kind of mellow, which I think is definitely aligned with that kind of West Coast flavor. But I think in general, probably more East Coast than West Coast. But
okay.
I still think certainly both.
Do we want to show off West Coast?
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's go West Coast, and then at the end of this listening session, we'll listen to your ska song so that they get to go out on a high. All right, so we're gonna listen to West Coast. We're gonna bring things a little low after that song that was just kind of a banging song. We're gonna listen to West Coast. Here we go. Shout out to the West Coast.
Sometimes you look into the sun, it seems your eyes won't shine. I think you're wrong now as I turn back the hands of time. A sad return and things you learn. You moved to the West Coast. I don't recall, cause most of all you I miss the most, I'll tell you.
Very cool. There was definitely a West Coast vibe, and if I'm gonna go ahead and say this, some of those harmonies I heard Beach Boys, I heard Van Halen. It's fantastic, and I grew up on the West Coast. If you guys remember, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm a California kid, so definitely love the vibes. Definitely West Coast surfing sounds is what Shirley Ann Johnson says, and Shirley knows the West Coast. Come on now. So does Pamela. We really enjoyed it. So is that one of your?
Yeah, thank you guys.
You must be very proud of that track, huh? It's kind of
Yeah, I am
Windows
actually.
down. Windows down.
Yeah, yeah, that was I think our first tune that really took shape in the recording process for the whole album. I think that tune started taking shape earlier than all the others. So I kind of give it credit for being the song that kind of triggered the domino effect of like setting a standard for the rest of the tracks to try to meet in terms of the quality of the sound. And just trying to make it sound full and lush and experimenting with, we just purchased a Prophet synthesizer for that one, and we were excited to mess around with that thing, and without overdoing it, hopefully. But yeah, no, we feel very much like that track was kind of the inaugural track for the album in terms of everything starting to sound like music instead of a bunch of demos.
Very cool. Well, is there anything that you feel that was not represented in your music that you think you want to work on in the next album? Or do you have any projects planned out in the future that you think is going to show that?
I think so. Yeah. If anything, I wish that our music was. I wish that it was more. I want to start trying to write melodies before chord progressions in the future, because this was more or less or at least me, I tended to write around a groove or some kind of progression or some kind of riff, and then I would just layer on top of that. I would like to start with a melody or maybe even some lyrics, and then just try to build around those instead. Just experiment with a different songwriting style just to see what becomes of it. But we have been talking about doing a follow-up EP.
Awesome.
We'll see if that happens or not. I'm not sure.
We look forward to it. I gotta tell you, hats off for being humble and for giving yourself a commitment. Right? What do they say? The best way to draw a straight line without a ruler is to put a dot and another dot, and then you have something to shoot for. Right? So good on you for doing that. And I'm not just pulling an Uncle Los. I'm telling you that's a wonderful thing to do, to have something to look forward as a goal, and it gives us something to listen to as we see that transition. But you know what? Kudos on the album. It's really strong. It's really strong.
Thank you very much.
We're very proud of you, and I'm really enjoying hearing these tracks with the crowd. We love the vibe. We love what you're doing. And by the way, Jennifer Hatfield just tuned in, and she says she in Carrington said thank you for your influence. And Algenia always doing it, Macon, Georgia. Thanks for checking in, sis. Just wonderful. So, do you have any upcoming events?
He and I are currently trying to start rehearsing. We need to figure out how to arrange this stuff for a 2-person act.
Okay.
Because it's just the two of us, and when you're in the studio, there's overdubbing, there's tracking. We don't have that live, and we feel like it's kind of cheesy to play along with a backup track, or we want to figure out a way that we can condense it while still maintaining the integrity of the tunes themselves. So we're working on it.
We get it. And
Yeah.
Walt's in the chat, and he and I, we have to work as a duet. We don't have a full band right now. Pamela Starks is saying, "Come play Portland." So now, are there any other bands that you play with currently?
Yeah, well, I play with, besides retail, I'm in a small jazz quartet.
Hmm.
I play every other weekend, locally here in Toledo,
Okay.
with Bob Manley, the sax player.
Okay. And now, is there a way that we can find you online and find those events?
Yeah, well, the place that we play at, let me think here. They usually will stream, when we're playing live on Facebook. The place is called the Village Idiot.
The Village Idiot. Okay, so we'll
Village
check it
Idiot.
out on Facebook, and we want to
Yes.
hear more of you and the other things that you do. We know that you are much more than. I mean, this is great, but we know that you're capable of much more.
Yeah,
We look
thank
forward
you.
to that. Yeah, and Andrew, I'm issuing not a challenge, but I'm issuing an invitation that when you want to come on the show, buddy, come on in and show and show us your end of the story. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, yeah.
And who knows? Maybe both of you can figure a way to play together in the same room. We might
Yeah,
be
we
able
would love to do that.
We've been
Yeah.
wanting to do that.
Absolutely.
And then if you guys have tracks that you'd like me to play along with, send them to me, and we'll give you a shout out. Because you guys are a terrific duo. So we're
Thank
gonna
you.
keep the music going. I'm gonna play something Sin Yellow. I know you guys like the Latin stuff, and I haven't been playing the Latin stuff. So we've got 15 minutes left. I'll play this. We come back. We'll play the last track from the duet, the dynamic duo, Retail. All right, here we go. Sin Yellow. In F minor for those young people. Ms. Carrington, I know you're going to ask me what key. Earlier I played, I think I was in B flat, and you're like, what key? And I couldn't remember. I was into his song. Here we go. Oh, the guitar's going out of tune. That means we have to stop. All right, we're going to get to the chat because they've got questions and we've got a little bit of time. Algenia Blocker is asking, has he ever played in a JW band in Macon with a sister? I think her name was Marcella. He looks familiar. I think she means he loves.
Yeah, I think she does mean that. No, I have not. I do appreciate the question. I don't think I have. I don't think I have, but I would love to try one day.
Very nice.
To meet this sister.
Right.
I'm sure she's a great musician.
Yeah, and there's musicians everywhere, incredible musicians everywhere. So we'll try to get to everybody. Just send them our way at Los Castro Music. Shameless plug. Don't forget, you can all events coming up at Los Castro Music. You can email me at loscastromusic.com, or you can find my events at loscastromusic.com. And also upcoming shows you'll be able to find on there. Find musicians like Brandon Young and other musicians that actually I think we are scheduling clear into August or October. And yes, Jennifer, thank you for letting us know that the young folks have things in hand. Our music is going to be in good hands. Carrington is already composing, and she started with a chord progression as well, B flat major. Cool. So sorry, Shirley, but thanks for sharing, Jennifer, that Carrington is continuing to carry the torch of music. So we've got different generations. You got myself, and then now you've got Brandon, and then the next generation with Carrington still composing. Cool.
Now it's my turn for a shameless plug.
Let us know.
If you want to buy the record, I believe you can get it at bandcamp.com/retail. You can buy a CD. I don't remember the price. I don't even know if that URL is correct. But I think it's bandcamp.com/ or it might be retail music. Either retail or retail music. So if you guys want to support us by purchasing a CD, by all means, we would love to ship you one for your collection.
Okay, I'm typing in. Unfortunately, my international keyboard went international on me, but I'm looking for retail music and I did not find it. So
on Bandcamp?
Yeah, I'm on Bandcamp.
Okay.
But guys, trust me, you want to get this album. I've been listening to it nonstop, and maybe I put 2 L's. Is that what's wrong? That might not work. Yes, I found them under retail out of Toledo, Ohio. Yes, go to Bandcamp. I have the app, so I just looked them up, and their nice, handsome faces are right on there. I'm gonna follow them right now in real time here at Bandcamp. That's where most of the backing tracks that you hear are from Bandcamp. And you can find incredible musicians such as Retail. Very nice. And yes, and please tell all your friends, let's strike a deal here. If you love Brandon's music, go tell everybody you love. And if you don't like his music, then only tell people you don't like. It's a win-win situation with a W, right. Capital W, right? All right. So don't forget, you can check him out in Bandcamp, but you can also find him Apple Music, Spotify. Where else?
Apple Music, Spotify. We are on. I think we have a SoundCloud. I think we've got
iTunes.
iTunes. Yes.
That's Apple Music, right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Maestro was asking, can we purchase MP3s from that platform from iTunes?
I believe you can. Yes, I think
Okay.
you can buy individual tracks from iTunes.
Perfect. And yes, retail is only the band name. We are not about selling music. We are about having you enjoy yourselves. With that said, guys, if we go over a little bit of time, that's okay. It's my party, and if I can cry if I want to. So we're going to play a track. But before we play your last track, anything you want to say to the Foundits? They really love it.
I really appreciate everyone's support here, being here, especially Angela. Thank you for bringing your friends here to take a look at this. It's very, very kind of you. Really appreciate that. Everyone has been very supportive of the record. We've gotten a lot of love regarding our music, and it's our first time doing anything like this, so it's pretty intimidating releasing this for critical ears. But everyone has been very cool about what they've been hearing, and it seems like all in all we've gotten some pretty good reception, so we're very appreciative that you all like what we've done, and we hope that you stay tuned for potentially more music from he and I, and we'll keep you all updated.
Again, guys, it's Andrew Stanton and Brandon Young of the band Retail. We will be listening to more of their music. We're going to finish this show with one last track, and then we're going to have to tell you we'll see you next Friday, and we're going to say goodbye from here. Last track is called, one last time, remind them?
It's called Why Don't You Come Around?
Why Don't You Come Around? Last track from the band Retail. Guys, Foundits, thanks so much for finding us today. Have a happy rest of your Friday, and enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there, okay? Why Don't You Come Around? Retail.
Cheap wine. So pour me one more glass. I got nothing but time. So why don't you come around? So why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? 50 grand invested. Now I'm unemployed. Traffic's so congested, and I feel destroyed. Yeah, guess I'll just have to spend more time with my friends. So pour me one more glass. It's all fair in the end. Hey, so why don't you come around? So why don't you come around? Why don't you come around? Why don't you come around?
What a way to finish the show, guys. It's 6:30 Pacific Northwest time, and it's time that we go, but that was a blasting track. Don't forget, the band is called Retail. It's amazing that Paul's son, Brandon Young, is here. Was that your dad? I have to ask.
That was my dad.
That was Paul. I knew it. I had to get it in. Hey, shout out to you, little brother. No, not baby brother. I didn't say that. He's a burning guitar player, and he's part of the family. Thanks for coming, guys. See you next Friday here with the Lounge of Sound. We're off the air.